Yes, Opal, if you can see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, yesterday, you people understood classes and objects. Okay. And then we started classes and functions. Okay. And we were discussing the pure functions and modifier functions. So we have to start, and we got to understand the difference between the pure functions and the modifier functions. And to understand the difference between the pure functions and the modifier functions, here we are taking the example of the time class, and then we are going to add the uh, what bread, the time taken by the breadman to prepare the bread to the current time, and check whether the breadman has prepared the bread within the time or not. So this is the example which we are going to see now, and understand the differences between the pure functions and the modifier functions. Okay, these are all the things what we understood yesterday, and we people wrote a program for doing this also, and then another program which says whether the time t2 is chronologically follows the time t1. Okay, and this was the program that we understood for it. One important thing here is since the sequence comparison is required, so we can go for using the tuple. So what it will do, when you compare two tuples, it will first compare the first values from both the tuples. If they are equal, then it will go for comparing the second values from the second tuples. Okay, so this is what you can do. Okay, much easily you can do, and you can avoid the nested if else statement. It can be avoided, that is no longer required. And then yeah, this was the continuation to that program, so that we understood, and two kinds of functions, and from here we got to discuss now. One is pure functions and other one is the modifiers. And to understand the differences between the pure functions and the modifiers, so we are taking this example. Okay, the bread time example. Okay, and before that, before starting that example, we understood how to read the current system time, date and time from the system in the Python programming language. So by importing this module date time and invoking the execution of the method name, also date time. Okay, and now gives you the current date and time in this format. Okay, and to get only the time, you can again go for calling this a function that is a time. So it skips the date, and what it gives you is only the time. And then if in case this is the format of date and time, or the time what now and time returns. But if in case if you want to format it to the desired type, then you can go for formatting as per your convenience by making use of strf time. Okay, there is a function with the name string format time, and these are all the arguments which we pass to that. So I want the year to be printed. Okay, so and I want the delimiting character as hyphen. You can use any desired delimiting character. It's not like you should use only the hyphen. And then month, and then date, and then we have the hour, minutes and seconds. So this is the output format in which you'll get the output. Okay, the format in which you get the output. And to print only the time, okay, again strf time. Now I'm skipping all this date format specifiers or the date conventions, so only the time is specified. I'm getting the time as the output, and here also you can go for using the desired delimiting character. And then I want the date to be printed, something like this. Okay, in this order. So date, month and year. So then you can go for using percentage big D if you use, it prints you the date in this format, that is DD, and YY format, and the time in the normal notation. Okay, so this is what we understood. Now program to find the time taken to make bread by the breadman from the current time. So this is what the example we are considering, and understand the pure functions and modifier functions. So let us start with this example. So this is not at all a difficult program, a very simple program. What this program does is it finds the time taken by the breadman to prepare the bread from the current time. Now as I told, since the current time you have to read from the system, since the program says the current time, so in order to get the current time from the system you require the module date time. Okay, and then class time, this is the class what I'm defining, name is the name of the class is time, and since I don't want to make any statements inside this class, I got to just say it as pass. Okay, so this pass statement we use in any compounded statement which is written without any statements, because Python will not allow you to write a compounded statement without any statement. Okay, so few statements should be there. In case if it is mandatory or compulsory for you to write a compounded statement which doesn't involve any statement, so then you can go for using the pass statement. So this makes use of this consumes the clock cycle, but the effect of this is nothing. And then I have a method with the name add time. Okay, this is the method which we are writing, and this method is taking two instances as the argument. Now what is T1 and T2 is, they are the instances to this class time, or they are the objects to this class time, T1 and T2. And now here inside the method add time, I'm creating one more instance. So you have understood already in the previous classes how to create an instance for the class in the Python programming language. It's so easy. So this is how I'm creating another instance with the name sum, okay, for the same class time. Okay, now sum.rs is equal to, now my intention is to add the r's from both the instances and store it into the r's attribute of another instance called as sum. Okay, sum.rs is equal to t1.rs plus t2.rs, and similarly, so I need to perform the addition of minutes from the instance t1 and instance t2 and store it into the attribute minutes of the instance sum. Okay, and similarly the seconds I'm adding, and finally what I'm doing is I'm returning this instance sum. Okay, and in the previous class you also understood that the instance can also be returned from a method or a function. Okay, you can pass it as an argument, and you can also go for returning it as a return value from any method or function. So this function, I hope all of you understood. This function is basically summing the times from the instance t1 and the times from the instance t2 and storing it into a new instance called as sum. Next, so this is another I have another method with the name print time, because you require this in order to print the time when the bread preparation is completed. Okay, so bread done time is equal to, so again the instance t, it depends on what instance you're passing to this. Now what we'll be passing to this is the sum what we have obtained here. Okay, the result. So t dot hours, t dot minutes, and t dot seconds I'm printing. And here, so I'm creating one more instance to this class time with the name current time. Now d is equal to date time. So as I showed you in the previous slides, so date time dot date time now. So I'm trying to read the current time from the system. Okay, this will get you the system time. Okay, gets you the system time. And then since I'm interested only in the time, okay, so I am using strf time and I'm restricting it only to what HMS, hours, minutes and seconds. I don't want the year, month and date. And on this again, okay, splitting everything, because I don't want the time to be printed in the form of a string. Instead I want to make it as a list of strings. Now to make it as a list of strings, I'm invoking the execution of split, and the delimiting character what I'm passing to this is colon. So get the current time from the system and go for splitting that time using colon as the delimiter and assign the list of strings to D. Now the D is the list of strings. So where the first item in the list is going to be the R, the second item in the list D is going to be the minutes, and the third item in the list is going to be the seconds. See, so many things so you're able to do in one single line. Okay, so one single line we have done. We are reading the system time, we are formatting as required by us, okay, and then we are also splitting it and building a list of hours, minutes and seconds. Okay, and then so since I've already created current time here, to the current time dot hours I'm assigning D of 0. Since I already mentioned it is a list, now if you access D of 0, what you will get is the hours, and you're converting that into integer and assigning it to hours attributes of current time. Similarly, so you're accessing the minutes from the list D, which is the second item in the list D. Now since it's a second item, the index what we have specified here is 1. Access the second item from the list D, convert again it into integer, and then assign it to the minutes attribute of current time. Okay. Now why we got to convert them into integer? Because this is in the form of a string. So the date and time what this now method returns, it is in the form of a string. Okay, and the strings cannot be assigned to this. So what you got to do is, so you got to convert them into integer. So how do we convert them into integer? You can do that by using the built-in function int. And similarly the seconds, the last item or the third item from the list D is the seconds. So convert it into integer and assign it to this. Next, now here I have another instance created to the time class with the name bread time. Okay, now so the time required for preparing the bread is 3 hours 35 minutes. Okay, so 3 hours 35 minutes. Now I'm assigning the bread time 3 hours, and minutes I'm assigning 35, and seconds I'm assigning 0. So now, so the time taken by the breadman to prepare the bread from the current time will be what? So I'm just add time I'm calling the method which we understood in the previous slide. This is the method what I'm calling. Now to this method I'm passing the current time. Okay, so the current time is already read from the system, and the hours, minutes and seconds are assigned to the respective attributes of the current time instance, and then the time required for preparing the bread is also assigned to the instance with the name bread time, and so both we are passing current time and the bread time. Now when it comes here, okay, so the current time which is an instance to the class time gets copied to T1, and similarly the bread time which is another instance to the time class gets copied to T2. So now T1 is referring to the current time, and T2 is referring to the bread time. Okay, instance. Now inside this function we have another instance created. This I've already told you. It performs the addition of the bread time with the current time, and what we get is a new sum, and that is returned. Okay, and finally what we are doing, so print done time. So what it is returning is sum. So finally it gets assigned to done time, and print done time. Okay, so it makes a call to this, and print done time again gets copied to T. T is also referring to this done time, and what we are printing is hours, minutes and seconds, and finally this is the bread time is 18 hours 51 minutes 31 seconds. That means from the current time, so the breadman is going to finish making the bread so in 18 hours 51 minutes and 31 seconds. So this was such a simple program. Okay, now we'll go for executing this quickly. Able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So I need to copy the other part as well. Okay. So this is what the bread time. So current time of the system is red. So it is 11:57 now. So to this 11:57, so you have 3:35 and 0 added. Okay. So this was so many milliseconds. Okay. Sorry, seconds. This is seconds. Sorry, 3 hours plus 11 hours. It is 14 hours, and 35 plus it was 57 earlier. You can see my system time here. 57 earlier. So 57 plus 35 comes to 92, but this is wrong, I'll tell you. And then 36. Okay. So because you cannot have the minutes exceeding 60. Okay. There is an issue in this program, and that is what we are going to discuss by using the pure functions and the modifier functions. So 92, because when it exceeds 60, we should have the hours incremented by 1. Okay. Hope people understood what I'm saying. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the output what we got. Okay. So now the same thing I'm trying to explain you, the same issue what we encountered here in the execution. Okay. See, 92 minutes. No, it is not possible. So when it exceeds 60, this 14 should be incremented by 1, and this is 92 minus 60, 32. Okay. So 15 hours 32 minutes it should be, but what we are getting now is wrong. Now this the same thing is explained here. If the current time is this 9 hours 55 minutes and 0 seconds, now when I perform this addition of the two instances, so something like this, now what it gives me is, say for example, 7 hours is the current time, 55 minutes and 00, bread time is this. Now when I print, finally what will happen is, so I get the wrong result. So 55 plus 35, so it is 90 minutes. It will say 10 hours 90 minutes, but it is not correct. It should be 9 hours 30 minutes and 6 seconds. Now how to do this? Now pure functions. Okay. Now I hope people understood why this example was taken. Can I have your response?
Yes.
Okay. Now pure function, okay, add time function in the previous slide is a pure function. So add time, what we understood now, this is a pure function. Why it is a pure function? Because it does not modify any of the object passed to it as its argument, and it has no side effect such as displaying a value or getting the user inputs. So now you just observe this function now, add time function or the method. Okay, this is the best example for the pure function because it is not modifying any of the instances which are passed as argument to it. So T1 is passed and T2 is passed. So you can just see here in this function, nowhere it is go for modifying the T1 and T2. Is it clear? Is T1 modified? No. Is T2 modified? No. Then we used these two and we added them and we wrote it into a new object, totally new object. What is the new object is? Sum. But what is the state of T1 and T2? It is still the same state. Correct, right? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, so add function is a pure function because it does not modify any of the object passed to it as arguments. Okay. So such functions we call them as pure functions. The functions which doesn't modify any of the arguments which are passed to it. Now modifiers. So the output of this program is this: 10 hours, 90 minutes, 6 seconds, which is incorrect. Okay. So now output of this program in the sense this program. Okay. Now when I run this program, so it's going to produce me this output: 10 hours, 90 minutes, 6 seconds, which is not correct. So it should be 11 hours, 30 minutes, 6 seconds. Okay. So the corrected first version of the function. Now what I'm trying to do now, I'm trying to convert my add time, which is right now a pure function, into a modifier function. Now how to do that? See. So and again here we understand multiple versions of it. Now what we are discussing is the corrected version, first version of the function. I'm just showing you the first version of it. Okay. So just observe here. Add time. Okay. T1, T2. I'm creating another instance with the name sum. Now, sum dot hours is equal to T1 dot hours plus T2 dot hours. This is well known. Sum dot minutes is equal to this: T1 dot minutes plus T2 dot minutes. And I'm adding the corresponding seconds from both the instances, T1 dot seconds and T2 dot seconds, and storing it into sum dot seconds. Now after that, so first I'm checking if sum dot seconds is greater than or equal to 60. What do you have to do now? Now you got to subtract 60 from the seconds and increase minutes by 1. Similarly, if minutes is greater than or equal to 60, subtract 60 from minutes and increase hours by 1. Okay. Now this is what the updated function we have written. This is the updated function what we have written. But again in this, so if you just observe, so we don't have the instance T1 and T2 modified. But to some extent, this program we have written to produce the correct output. But still this is not the correct one. Why? I'll tell you. Okay. Now before going to this, okay, let me quickly execute this and show you. So I have written the definition of add time, and all this two statement should be under this definition. So I have to give a tab space and then return sum. Yeah, and here I don't require this chevron symbol. This is called as chevron. Now if I press enter, it will take the current time, in the sense I am manually assigning it. Okay, 7:55:00, and to that I am trying to add. Now what is the time it has said me? 10 hours, 90 minutes, 6 seconds, which is an incorrect result. Okay. Now what this will do? Now the definition I am changing. Okay, let me change. So now in my previous example, this was the definition of add time. Add time was defined like this. Now I'll go for changing my add time. Okay. Now what I'll do? I'll go for giving this definition for add time. Updated one. a new definition for add time. And again, I want this to be nested inside the add time function, and these two statements, they got to be inside this if, and these two statements again, they got to be inside this, and the return is here. Now I'll go for pressing enter. The definition is ready. So the new definition is ready. Now I'll go for calling the same thing. So earlier when I ran, I got 10 hours 90 minutes 6 seconds. Now I'm trying to do the same thing, but now it should give me a different answer. The different answer what I got now is 11 hours 30 minutes and 6 seconds, and which is correct. Correct? But this method definition what we have written for add time is not a generic one. So it's not going to work for all the cases, and it has fortunately worked for this case what we have executed. So if I keep repeating it for other cases, and for few cases it might not work, and it will not work definitely. Okay. Now what is the solution to that? That is the reason. So it was mentioned this is the corrected first version of the function. OP people understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Next we'll go. So version 2. Okay. So just observe this version 2 now. So definition increment I have taken here, time and seconds. So time is the instance. Okay. Now what I am doing here, so time dot seconds is equal to time dot seconds plus seconds. Okay. So you can observe now this is the modifier. How do you say this is a modifier function or a modifier method? See, the time is getting updated. So time is the instance which are passed as argument to increment, and is this definition of increment is going to update it. See, times dot second is equal to times dot second plus seconds. And again I am checking if times dot seconds is greater than or equal to 60. What I am doing, observe. So times dot seconds is equal to times dot second minus 60, and then I increment the minutes by 1. Okay. Now what I am passing is, see, time I am passing, which is an instance, and I am passing the total number of seconds here. Say I give you some time, say 3 hours 50 minutes and 10 seconds. Add this to the current time. Now what will do, that 3 hours 50 minutes and 10 seconds will convert it into seconds. You can do that. Okay. 3 into 60 into 60 correct, no? Plus 6 seconds. So you will get the number of seconds, total number of seconds. So that seconds you have taken, and what you are doing, you are adding it. And in case if that seconds is exceeding 60, what you do, you subtract 60 from the seconds and increment the minutes by 1. And then again you check minutes whether it is greater than or equal to 60. If it is greater than or equal to 60, subtract 60 from minutes and add 1 to the hours. So this is what the version 2 is. Okay. Now we'll go for checking whether the version 2 is correct. It's still not correct. It is incorrect. Now why it is incorrect? What happens if the parameter seconds is much greater than 60? So this is fine, okay, if as long as the total number of seconds is less than 60 or equal to 60, correct, or greater than 60 also to some extent. But if the number of seconds is much greater than 60, in this case it is not enough to carry ones, so we have to keep doing it until seconds is less than 60. So you require a looping iteration. So you got to do this operation repeatedly again and again until the number of seconds what you get is less than 60. Okay. Say for example I need to add some time to the current time, and the number of seconds what I got is say 60,000 seconds or 10,000 seconds. Now I got to do this repeatedly using a looping construct until I get the number of seconds less than 60. So still the version 2 of the code what we wrote is not correct and complete. Now what can be done? So now we are going for the version 3, and since we found in the version 2, so the problem with the version 2 was that, so if the number of seconds is much greater than 60, so we got to do something, and the same thing has to be done repeatedly again and again until the number of seconds is less than 60. Now we have found that. Now here again the increment, time and number of seconds I am passing. So I am just trying to increase the seconds, add the seconds to the current seconds value of the time instance, and in a while I will check while time.seconds is greater than or equal to 60, because I got to do it repeatedly. As long as the time instance seconds is greater than or equal to 60, I keep subtracting 60 from it and keep adding 1 to the minutes. And similarly I do this for the minutes. So while time.minutes greater than or equal to 60, so I keep subtracting 60 minutes from the current minutes and adding 1 to the hours. So this is the version 3. Okay. Now, so if you look into this version 3, so now it is complete and correct code. Okay. So this function is now correct, but it is not the most efficient solution. Okay. So no doubt in this, it's correct, but not the most efficient solution. So prototype development. So we demonstrate an approach to program development that we call prototype development. So this is an efficient approach. Okay. So this solution can be re-implemented by using something called as prototype development, which is much more efficient than the solution what we have written here. Now how the prototype development approach is much more efficient than this, we will understand. Okay. In each case we wrote a rough draft or a prototype that performed the basic calculation and then tested it on a few cases, correcting the flaws as we find them. Although this approach can be effective, it can lead to the code that is unnecessarily complicated and is hard to know if we have found all the errors. Okay, so this you'll not understand until unless we go to an example. Okay, so now before I go to the example, so let me go for executing this versions. Okay, now version 2 I think I have not this one I have not executed. Version 2 I have not executed. Okay, so let me I think version 1 I have executed. So this one I have executed. Now let me go for executing this. Now for executing this I have to give a totally different data. Now I have to pass the current time, and then I got to pass the number of seconds instead of the another instance. Okay, total number of seconds. Control C, and let me take this. Again I got to do few indentation. These two should be under this, and this two should be under this if statement. Okay. Okay, now it is correct. Now let me give this definition to increment. Okay, done. Now, so current time, I'll take this, and the bread time, instead of giving it as 335 and 6, I got to convert it into what? The number of seconds. Okay. Now I'll the current time I'll give the same thing. Control C. Now the bread time, what I'll do is seconds. Seconds is equal to, so 60 into 60 into how many hours? 3 hours. 3, and then to that I need to add So how many minutes? 35 minutes. 60 into 35 plus how many seconds? 6 seconds. Hope this is clear. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now I go for calling increment by passing the current time instance and the seconds. Okay. Okay, and the definition, I think, let me modify it later, because here only I'll go for printing the hours, minutes and seconds, everything. Okay, now I'll call increment. Now I pass current time and then seconds. Okay. Now since I'm in the definition here of increment, I'm not printing it. So let me redefine it. So it got executed. So we are not displaying the output. So let me redefine it. Now after this, here I'll go for print hours, comma what it is, time dot hours, and then 1 second. Yeah, so it close. Okay. So time dot hours and then then minutes. So comma time dot minutes, and then okay, this is not necessary. I think this space is not necessary. Okay, so and then seconds, time dot seconds, time dot seconds it is. Invalid syntax. Why? I think first comma and then no. Okay, got to have a comma here. So we got to have a comma here. Okay. Time dot seconds. Oh, comma is missing here. Again. So I got to have one more comma here. Okay, so now I'll go for calling this So you got it as, say, hours is 7, minutes is 56, and seconds is so many, which is not correct. Okay, so this result is not correct. We executed the second version of our code, this one. Now the third version. Okay, so I'll just go for updating the definition of increment, and the rest all will remain same. So these two will come under the first while. Now I got to add this printf outside these two whiles. Okay, now the definition is ready. Now I'll just go for calling the same thing. Now this is correct. It is 11 hours 30 minutes and 6 seconds. Okay, so this definition is correct, but it is not an efficient solution. Now how to make it as efficient? By using the prototype development. Okay, we'll see that. So hope you people understood till here.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now, so planned development. So eye level insight into the problem can make the programming much easier. Okay, so what we did now was we started with a small version, and then version 2, version 3, you know. So we did a kind of what trial and error method, and we have arrived at the complete solution. And again we are saying it was not a complete efficient solution. Now if you have a planned development, you know, so then you can go for building the much efficient program. Now what is that planned development? So in this case, insight is that the time object is really a 3-digit number in base 60. Okay, and the seconds component is the ones column, and the minutes component is the 60s column, and the hours component is the 3600 column. Okay, I'll just show you here. Okay, now what you are doing is, see here, so add time, convert to seconds. I have another function for converting it to seconds, and then make time is one more function. Now here what I'm doing, I'm taking the first instance which has hours, minutes and seconds. Now calling this convert to seconds, so it is converting it into seconds, and what it is returning is seconds. So total number of seconds for the first time instance. I add, again take the second time, call the same function, convert that into what? Seconds. Okay, add both the seconds, so I get the total number of seconds, and return make time seconds. I'm calling one more function, make seconds. It comes here. Now inside this make seconds, I'm creating an instance to the time object, time class, and what I'm doing, observe now. So to get the hours, okay, seconds divided by 3600. Now why this double slash I've written? Because I don't want the fractional part. I don't want the fraction result, because hours cannot be fractions. Okay, now I have it, and this gets the number of hours, and then I know the definition for minutes also. Now I take the remainder, seconds, total number of seconds, modulus 3600, I get the remainder, and that remainder again I'm going to divide it by 60 and get only the integral part, assign only the integral part to minutes. And in the third one, so seconds I take, and I am going to find the remainder. Okay, and assign it to this return time. So you see how efficient this program is. So what we were doing here, so we were repeatedly doing the same thing by running the while loop here and here. Even though it's a correct solution, but it is not an efficient solution, but this is an efficient solution. And what here we are doing, we are using the function as a modifier function instead of what, a pure function. And this is the planned solution. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now we'll go for executing this. Copy. So I'm writing the definitions now. 3 method definitions are here. Now which one I have to call initially? Okay. Now I have to call this add time. So make time, this makes the time, and printing also let me do here only. So return time it is doing. Okay, let me, since it returns the time, okay, now instead of returning I can print here only. This print I'll call. Here. Now, okay, it's done. Now I go for now I don't do this seconds and all. Now I can go for passing this where it is. So yeah, this one till here. So print time is not necessary because this method I'm not writing now. Control V, and add time, is it returning here? Okay, now what we are calling is add time. So this, that add time in turn calls make time. Okay, done, no problem. I can go for execute. See now, 11 hours 30 minutes and 6 seconds. Okay, same thing. So how beautifully it is doing. Okay, so this is what is the planned approach. And the earlier one what we understood was a prototyping approach. First we did some trial and error. We wrote the first version, started using that first version, and then we identified the flaws in the first version, and then we enhanced it for the second version and the third version, and finally the complete solution, which is a planned development solution. Okay, any doubts? I think this is the last slide here. Any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay, so we'll stop here, and in the next class we'll go for discussing the next topic is, I think it is classes and methods. Till now we understood classes and functions, so now next will be the classes and methods. Okay. 79 absent. 223 absent. 425 absent. 54 is absent. 104. 17 104 absent. 129 present. 131 absent.
Urgent, sir.
One-
136.
Yeah,
Satyam.
yeah. I marked absent for 131. Sorry,
Okay.
136, and then 165 is also not there. 206, 211. Okay, next is 25. It's not there. 103, 18, 103 is there. 124, 125, 126, 127 absent. 129. 129, 130, 131, 132, 133 absent. 134, 136, 137 absent. 138 absent. Then 139 also not there. 141, 142, 143 absent. 144 absent. 145 absent. 146, 147 and 48. 148. 148, 149 absent. 150, 151, 152 absent. 153, 154 absent.